hurt you that she's around your children?
It does not hurt me, no. More than anything, I go into protective mode. Like, I'm never going to trust someone who adored my family setup so much that they worked their ass to come between it. Of course, with the help of him, but still.
Hey, our children are perfectly fine.
Like I said, for me, knowing that they are around someone who has said such nasty and vile things about their mother and about
all those babysitters that you had, 11
about their father, even
babysitters.
who said multiple things
You know
about
what
their
I'm saying?
father.
11
See how he
babysitters.
defends her? He's bringing up something directly at me when I'm talking about a person who has, for years, as he knows, tried to torture and come in between our marriage, DMing me. See, he knows all of those things, and I can keep going. So when he sits there and tries to defend, how dare.
For a long time, it felt like the storm had already passed, like everything that could be said had already been said. The heartbreak, the accusations, the public unraveling, it all played out in front of millions. But somehow, the tension never really left. It just changed form. It got quieter, sharper, harder to ignore. Because even in silence, something was still moving beneath the surface.
Listen, this show means a lot to Melissa in a very different way of what it means to Teresa. I think, to your point, listen, I think anybody who watches the show can see that Melissa wants to be the top dog, and she has trouble with Teresa constantly winning in the end. And this, I'm gonna tell you, it was the season where Danielle Staub, one of my favorites of all time.
Yes,
it was the season where Danielle Staub, unfortunately, Melissa, like, Teresa told me to pull the hair. What I saw was this excitement of Melissa getting the tea. Like, well, she did what? And I think of Melissa's mind, she was like, oh baby, it's going down.
Fans noticed it first, the way certain interviews didn't quite sit right, the way certain comments felt too intentional to be sleuthy, the way every step forward seemed to be followed by something pulling the past right back into the spotlight. And just when people thought they understood the dynamic, everything shifted. Because now, Carlos King is no longer watching from a distance. He's speaking, and not in the careful, neutral way people were used to. This time, his words carried weight. This time, they felt like a warning.
Life is good, God is good, okay? So, in case you missed the other live earlier, I need a bag, so I had to... So in real life, I always call Marlo, okay? I always call Marlo when I'm out shopping because she is my person. So, y'all get a chance to see who I am in my real life, not stuff you hear about.
According to what he revealed, this situation has evolved far beyond what people assumed. It's no longer just about two people who couldn't make a marriage work. It's not just about pain or resentment or moving on. It's about control. And if that sounds intense, it's because it is. Carlos suggested that what the public has been witnessing might not be as random as it appears, that behind the interviews, the reactions, the recurring tension, there could be a deeper pattern, not loud, not obvious, but consistent.
Playing mind games, that's just what he does. Like him showing up here today with these flowers, this smile on his face, like Prince Charming, when we all know that he's responsible for all of the stuff happening on social media pertaining to me. That could change people's opinions about me by him giving these false narratives. He's responsible for that.
And once you start looking at it that way, everything begins to feel different. Because this story didn't start with conflict. It started with something that looked solid, something people believed in. Before the headlines, before the betrayal, before the emotional fallout, there was a partnership that people admired. A couple that didn't just talk about building a future, they actually did it, together. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving. From the outside, it looked like alignment, like two people moving with the same purpose, the same vision, the same drive.
Stop being a victim all the time.
Ooh,
It gets on my nerves.
So I saw that everybody just heard everything Martell said. Marcus that I'm playing the
Well,
victim.
I wish one day people will see the person that you really are. You throw all the damn stones and hide your hands and be the victim. Because when we start going through stuff, I told you what you weren't doing in the marriage.
They built businesses, they built a family, they built an image that felt real enough for people to connect with. And when that kind of image cracks, it doesn't just break quietly, it shatters. The truth, when it came out, didn't just damage the relationship, it changed everything. Trust was gone, respect was questioned, and the foundation that once looked unshakable suddenly felt fragile. For Melody, that shift was deeply personal. It wasn't just about what happened, it was about what it meant, about everything that had been invested emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But instead of reacting publicly, she did something unexpected. She stepped back. She stopped feeding the noise. She redirected her energy. She focused on rebuilding, not responding. And that choice, while quiet, was powerful. Because silence in a situation like this isn't easy. It requires discipline. It requires restraint. It requires choosing long-term peace over short-term validation. But on the other side, things looked different. Instead of distance, there was presence. Instead of quiet, there was engagement. Interviews continued, conversations kept circling back, and slowly the tone began to shift. What once sounded like reflection started to feel like defense. And this is where Carlos's perspective becomes impossible to ignore. Because from where he stood, this wasn't just about emotion anymore. It was about narrative, about who gets to define the story after everything falls apart. He explained that when someone loses control in one area of their life, they often try to regain it somewhere else. And in this case, that somewhere else appeared to be public perception. Not through one dramatic moment, but through repetition. Subtle comments, carefully chosen words, strategic appearances. Not enough to cause immediate backlash, but enough to slowly influence how people feel. At first, it didn't seem like much, just moments, reactions, opinions. But over time, those moments started to connect. And once they connected, they told a different story. One where the conflict didn't just linger, it evolved. Carlos made it clear that he doesn't see this as simple revenge. He sees it as something more complicated, a mix of pride, hurt, and the need to not be misunderstood. Because being seen as the villain in a story you once controlled, that's not something everyone knows how to handle. So instead of stepping away, some people try to rewrite the narrative, piece by piece. And that's what makes this situation so unsettling. Not the noise itself, but the possibility that the noise has direction. Meanwhile, Melody's approach remained steady, focused, intentional. She didn't match energy. She didn't respond to every mention. She moved forward in a way that forced people to pay attention without saying much at all. And according to Carlos, that wasn't accidental. It was strength. He openly acknowledged how difficult it is to maintain composure when your name keeps getting pulled into ongoing tension, how easy it would be to respond, to defend, to react. But choosing not to, that takes control of a different kind. Still, the situation hasn't faded. If anything, it's become more complex. Because now, people aren't just watching what's happening, they're questioning why it keeps happening, why the story won't close, why the tension won't settle, and why, after all this time, the connection between them still feels active even in separation. Carlos admitted that from a human perspective, it's exhausting, watching something that once had so much potential turn into a cycle that keeps repeating itself. Not louder, not more dramatic, just ongoing. He made it clear that he doesn't believe this is about someone being entirely right or entirely wrong. It's about what happens when unresolved emotions meet public visibility, when pride gets involved, when perception starts to matter more than peace. And when that line gets crossed, the consequences don't show up immediately. They build, over time, quietly, until one day the impact is impossible to ignore. And that's where things stand now. Not at the end, not at the beginning, but somewhere in between, where the truth is still unfolding and the tension hasn't quite decided what it wants to become.